Hello, today I'm going off to explore a mystery. Somebody's actually asked me to see if I can unearth some information. So come along for the ride, take it seriously, and if you can add anything to the knowledge, please add a comment. Well, hello. You see me walking along a nice little track. I'm actually in Norwich. Down that way is Blue Paris, and I'm going to the famous Norwich bus stop. So come join me when I get down there. It's only a few hundred yards. So then, what makes this area so famous? Well, for a start, if I look that way behind me, you can't see, but that's the Norwich Quarries, second largest slate quarry in the world in its day. If I look in front of us, which we'll see in a minute, there's another quarry, I think it's called, and at my 10 o'clock there's another quarry, an older one. Yeah, it's quite a few quarries in other words. So here is part of the slate workings that this area is so famous for. But as you probably guessed, I'm not here for the slate workings. Ooh, no. I'm here for something totally different. So before I start coming for my reason for being here, let's just come and have a look at some of the commemoration of the slate work that's happened over the centuries. I think I've done some still shots of this in the past. And you have to remember, like it says there, the quarrying activity is fundamental to this whole area. It's nice that here in the 21st century that the quarry and the quarrymen are being remembered. They had short lives, tough lives, and yeah, all in all, it's amazing what they managed to do. So that ways there is the Norwich quarry, Arthur, excuse the pronunciation, and over there is another quarry. So it's Norwich or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but that's an older one. I'll let you know a little bit more about it at the bottom of the screen. But you're not interested in that necessarily. I will be popping up here again with a better view of the quarry. For us to get our bearings, that's behind me, that dead end there, that way. That gives us a trip to, I'm going to get run over at this rate. This gives us a trip to the Anglesey Barracks, and if you keep going you'll end up at the join between Llyn Padarn and Llyn Paris. Llyn Padarn, Llyn Paris, I should say. Right, so you can see there there's a lamppost with a light behind me. Now that's a bit of a fundamental to our story. I want to take you back to the late 60s. Woodstock. Some of you might remember Woodstock. If you do, you're quite old. Now, one evening in the autumn, 1969-ish, we'll say 1969, it may or may not be true, but one evening, a young lad and a young lady were in a barn somewhere in this area. and they're both teenagers. I'm going to call them Dafydd and Myfanwy. Not that Dafydd and Myfanwy. No. I'm just using those names purely for to keep the guilty parties anonymous, because I believe they're both alive and kicking to this day. Anyway, they found a barn near here. Now, whether it's that there barn there, I don't know. I could be, it might be, I might be wrong. But it was a barn somewhere near this bus stop. And they decided that they'd come up here. I can't see any other barns. I mean, there's the remains of an old building down there, so it could even be that one. It would sort of add up. But they decided to have a meet up here. Now, I'm not going to tell you what Dafydd and Myfanwy were doing. That's between Dafydd and Myfanwy. Once they were ready to leave, they came over this way. Myfanwy could hear a girl screaming. I could do an action replay. I'm not, because although I could scream like a girl, it's not going to sound very good. So anyway, she could hear that. Dafydd could hear nothing. However, it was just quite disturbing, so they decided to make their way up round the corner. By the light of the street light, which I believe is this one, the dim old light, Dafydd suddenly noticed a gentleman wearing a trench coat. I think he might be wearing a hat as well, I don't know. They were funny because Myfanwy hears the screaming, doesn't see the man. Dafydd sees the man, doesn't hear the screaming, so it's completely different. And as they started to leg it, they became ever more frightened, because they could hear themselves being followed by a flapping of wings. No noise other than just the flapping of a giant set of wings. So they ran. Now, I probably would have run too. They couldn't see any birds. They're adamant that it's a really large bird. They've seen the dodgy character that they couldn't identify. And one of the two people was a local. So with them being locals, they would have known who it was. So they ran this way. Now they must have been quite scared, because they ran quite a distance. I'm not going to walk, I'm going to jump in a car and we'll pick the story up where they ran to. Now this here used to be a phone box. You may ask how I know this, and it's purely simply because I looked it up on an Ordnance Survey map, found that there used to be a telephone kiosk here, and I then went on to the delightful Google Earth, and you can still see it, or at least you could last week when I looked. I can't see, but I suggest it's probably foundations are sort of here-ish. Might even be here where I'm standing right now, actually. It feels quite solid, but that's it. Yes, this was Chwarel Fawr up here. That used to be a big quarry. That's what Chwarel Fawr means. So you can picture the scene. The young couple have taken refuge here inside the phone box. The quarry bus stop rather is down there, in that area down there. Upsets the camera when you do that, just so you're aware of it. He says frantically trying to point. That there, the pointy bit, is actually Snowdon or Wither, the highest point in England and Wales. So we could say normally this would be a lovely picturesque view, but on this moment in time, according to Daffy, the pair of them were absolutely petrified. Let's come back out so you can actually admire the view. This doesn't actually demonstrate. That's Elodie Var. Was it Elodie Bach? Bach, rather. It might be Elodie Bach. Var being further along. They were petrified. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but what they then subsequently did, once they decided the threat had passed, they ran down. There is actually a bus stop in the road, which he says frantically trying to point. It's down there. You might just be able to see it. They ran down there. So they've actually come quite a distance. They've run from there all the way round the bend, terrified, being flown by these flapping great big wings, and then they've taken refuge here. Then when they found it safe, they've gone all the way up to that bus stop. Quite frankly, terrified, as I think most of us would be. So was that a ghost of an old quarryman? Was it a local strange character down there? What was the flapping wings? You know, swans stay down low, geese make quite a lot of honking noise, and probably would have migrated away by then. Birds of prey like owls have got quieter wings and small. These were apparently really frighteningly loud flaps. So Daffy has asked, does anybody know what this was? So anyone got any ideas? Answers on a postcard. Next time you see me, I'm going to come up here in the twilight, in the dark, whatever, and we'll see if I can experience anything this couple had. Right, next time you see me, I'll be back down at the bus stop. Hello, so I'm back again. This is a late evening shot. I'm under the lampposts that Daffy and Mavunwi saw the man. This is about 9 o'clock at night. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but there's sort of a howling type noise from the wind. It's quite windy up here. And now there's a car coming. But I wouldn't want to be up here on my own in the dark. I dare say it must have been quite frightening for them. So I don't know what they saw. I don't know what they experienced, what they heard. If anyone knows, serious comments would be appreciated. Let's not take the mickey out of them though, eh? Because it must have been quite disturbing. On that note, thanks very much. Hope you found it useful to know and learn about, and maybe this video will prompt someone to give some more valuable information. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.